I'm just going to bring in now, Ash, two local Country Liberal Party politicians, Josh Burgoyne and Steve Edgington. Josh, you live here in Alice Springs. You've lived here all your life. We've heard from Darren Clark. We just heard from Catherine Coulthard as well, saying they've never seen the crime situation as bad as it is in Alice Springs at the moment. What's your take on that?
Well, today's visit by the Prime Minister is exactly that. It's an admission of failure that NT Labor have got it wrong. We're standing here today out the front of a business where every single window has been smashed. That's due to policy failures on behalf of the NT government. We've seen that time after time. We've now had our own Senator, Jacinta Price, come out loudly and say we need those stronger future measures reintroduced. We've also had Marion Scrimgeour from Labor say the same thing, yet NT Labor are refusing to listen. They are refusing to listen to the good people of Alice Springs, who are absolutely fearful of coming out late at night, who are having their homes broken into at increasingly alarming rates. And it's incredible that it's got to the stage where we now have a Prime Minister coming here to Alice Springs, and what we want to hear loudly and clearly when he gets off that plane this afternoon is that he is going to reintroduce those measures, and we need additional police resources, whether they be Australian Federal Police or otherwise, to support our overworked and absolutely exhausted police here in Alice Springs.
Just on the stronger futures, that's something we've heard from a lot of people on the ground here. How much of an impact do you think that has had since July 17 last year when we saw those changes?
I've never heard Northern Territory Police speak openly about it, but this morning on ABC Radio we had a high-ranking police officer say loudly and clearly that since July 17, alcohol-related crime statistics have skyrocketed. It's a really startling omission that basically what we've seen, and we've been asking questions about this, which has backed it up, a 1,300% increase when compared to the year before, to the week after the Stronger Futures finished. We had alcohol-related assaults go from one solitary assault up to 14. It's simply not good enough. We deserve better here in Alice Springs. And whilst I'm very grateful that the Prime Minister's coming, I really hope that he comes with more than just words. We need action here in Alice Springs.
Yeah, the Police Commissioner Jamie Chalk was on Sky News today as well, making those same comments in relation to the ending of Stronger Futures, the return of alcohol, particularly to town camps and the impact it's had. Steve, I might just bring you in. Darren Clark was saying to us this morning, he was saying the focus at the moment is on Alice Springs, but he was saying they're dealing with these issues as well in Tenant Creek. We were in Tenant Creek 5 years ago. You were the mayor then. Malcolm Turnbull, the Prime Minister, came and visited following that horrific incident where a 2-year-old girl was raped. Did you see any change, any meaningful change after the Prime Minister's visit, and what's the situation like there now?
Look, after the Prime Minister visited back in 2018, in Tenant Creek, we were facing a whole range of issues, a whole range of alcohol-related crime, very serious assaults, a death of a person back in early 2018. But prior to that, we were warning the Northern Territory government that we were facing a catastrophe in Tenant Creek. There was prior warning given to that. There was no action taken by the Northern Territory government at that time. Crime continued to escalate, and it wasn't until a serious incident that the government decided to take action. The visit by the Prime Minister, as a result of that, we introduced the Barkly Regional Deal. But going through statistics recently, when you just look at them over the last 6 years, at the moment, we're seeing roughly about 200% increase in unlawful entries of houses. Now, this is where most of the crime is being committed. We've seen a massive increase in vehicles being stolen, houses being unlawfully entered, and we're seeing that across Central Australia. It's exactly what I'm hearing here in Alice Springs. So there's a pattern. There's no doubt young people are playing around on social media, sharing their experiences, bragging about what they're doing, and trying to highlight some of these issues. But at the moment, crime is high in Tenant Creek. We need action right across the board. Central Australia is a big area. It does include the Barkly. My constituents come right down to 130 kilometres outside of Alice Springs. Half of my constituents visit Alice Springs on a weekly, sometimes on a daily basis. This is the major service centre of Central Australia. There needs to be action right across the board, and if we confine it to Alice Springs, it's just not enough. We need to look at the bigger picture of what's going on in Central Australia.